Welcome into the Cactus Golf Podcast, episode number 28.
2-8.
What is going on?
Nothing much, man. It was a good week last week.
Good Masters week. It was great,
exciting.
actually. Yeah, I watched a lot. I'm sure you did too. You watched a little more Sunday than I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
I watched a lot at work, and not a lot of stuff got done last week.
Yeah.
A lot of golf got watched.
Got a lot of golf watching done. Yeah, it was a great week, even though the weather was kind of iffy there Friday, Saturday. It was still a good week there. I saw ratings were up drastically.
And yes, they were up. I think like
it was 19% year over year.
Yeah.
Most watched golf broadcast in 5 years.
Yes.
So that's more than Tiger's win in 2019 in the Masters. So that's kind of crazy to think about. I did see that there was like a little asterisk next to that because the Tigers win, they had to bump up the tee times earlier because there was weather later in the day, so maybe that impacted some of it. But still, pretty impressive stuff. Obviously, I think a lot of the drama that was going on contributed to that. But
yes, it was great. I honestly I enjoyed watching it. You know, everyone had to delete the Masters app off their phone after
I never
obviously.
downloaded it.
No?
I didn't need it because I just had it right here.
I had it at work every once in a while.
Yeah.
If I was,
and I got on Masters.com, but I never did that.
Yeah, I went to Masters.com if I was on my computer or anything, but on my phone I went to the app and used it. It wasn't too bad. But it was exciting, man. Like I just like every day I woke up like I shaped my day around watching the Masters. Like making sure I went to the gym early enough so I can watch it and come back on time. Like Sunday was tough because they started at 7:30 a.m.
Mountain.
Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 our time.
Okay.
Arizona.
Yeah.
So it's 3 hours behind. So it was 5:30. So that one I had to make sure I tried to catch a lot of it, but it was a lot of golf was played a lot because of the rain delays, and I saw a lot of debates online of should the Masters be continuing to be played in April because of that. I guess in however many years, like there was some statistic that like X percentage of them had like rain delays involved. So I don't know. And tree fallings.
Yeah, well, maybe if Patrick Cantlay didn't take so long, maybe they could get away with that.
See his response today?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's gonna say that, but
I mean, the thing is, they've obviously played slower than what we would play, obviously.
For sure. Oh,
but
no doubt.
Of course, obviously. But I think if a player's going to go out there and say that, they know what they're saying. They're not just going to say if somebody's playing slow. Like Patrick Cantlay said, they were waiting on shots too. But it's like, okay, Victor Hovland was also shown that he was walking way ahead. Like as soon as he made a shot, he was 30, 40 yards ahead.
There was one where he chipped on the green. He had a greenside chip. He chipped on before Cantlay even hit his approach shot because it was taking so long.
Yeah,
come on,
yeah.
man.
It wasn't just Brooks calling it out. It was Hovland was frustrated
7 times.
That's kind of alarmed by that. Jon Rahm, is your bladder okay? What the heck?
That is pretty alarming. That's a lot of bladder issues.
I guess he's probably walking and sweating a lot, but still,
yeah,
that's a lot.
That humidity out there in Georgia.
But let's go ahead. We got a little bit of an episode here. We got, again, another designated event coming up this week at RBC Heritage. We're going to go into a quick little Masters OWGR impact, what came out of that, the Masters review, the preview there of this week's tournament and betting corner. Interview this week is not going to happen.
We got next week.
But we got one next week. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So we had some big movement here at OWGR. So first one here, Rahm, I went from 3 to 1, from winning. I got Cam Smith, I saw, went 6 to 5, so not a big jump, but jump up a little bit. Joaquin Niemann, 25th to 24th, but then going to the big jumps here. Brooks from 118 to all the way to 39.
Wow.
Patrick Reed, 70 to 45. And Phil. So Phil Mickelson went from 425th to 72nd.
That's crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
That's really, really... I mean, I understand. It makes sense. There's the OWGR rankings. You jumped a lot in big events like this, correct?
A lot of points on the line.
Yeah. So I understand, and it's,
I think it just clearly shows that LIV needs to be better accounted for in OWGR.
They
you can't say Cam Smith is the 5th best player in the world, but then, whenever he goes and plays tournaments for another tour, obviously Brooks wasn't the 118th best player in the world.
No.
So having him ranked 118 before this was obviously wrong.
Yeah.
So saying your system's clearly wrong.
Yeah.
If you're trying to say you're ranking the best players in the world, you're clearly not doing that.
Correct. And I know there's criteria. We went through this on whatever episode it was back there talking about OWGR, but clearly, yes, you're right, 100%. If you're just looking pure best golfers in the world, this is very, very
right.
wrong.
No and you don't go to like college basketball and leave out some mid-major playing in the AAC, even though just because they're in the AAC. If they're the best team in the country, they're going to be ranked number one.
Yeah, and
not just because they're not a Power 5 conference.
I get it because I understand less holes, no cuts, but there are PGA events that are very similar.
And I think you can account for that in the rankings, right? Just award them less points, make it
you
harder.
Figure it out.
Right? I'm not saying they should get the same amount of points for a tournament that a PGA tournament, like an RBC Heritage gets.
Yeah.
But some points, I think, have to.
They have to.
Yeah.
No doubt, and especially if Liv continues to survive these next few years, it's going to be the biggest power grab if they don't get any points. It's just going to show that what's the PGA commissioner's name again? Jay Money. Yes, he probably has his hands in everyone's pockets and making sure that none of that happens. But it's going to happen eventually.
I think it has to. It's ridiculous.
I'm not going to lie. I think a lot of people were really kind of hoping for a Liv victory for the Masters.
I had my Rahm ticket to win. He ended up winning, which is great. Yeah. But I kind of secretly wanted Brooks to win. No doubt.
Yeah. I had the double chance. Like I was okay with losing money, just to see a Liv golfer win, just to see like the
I just really wanted to see it.
And Phil and Brooks T2. I forgot who other. Patrick Reed was up there on the leaderboard.
Yeah. So 3 of the top 6, they're T4, but there's 6 in the top 4. Yeah. So 3 of the 6 were Liv golfers.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
That's great. That's fantastic. And again, they're some of the best golfers, so it should look that way. And it's great to see Brooks had a hot start, and we'll get into the recap when we get there, but they definitely need to start earning points.
Yeah, I think.
Period.
Yeah, it's like we've mentioned multiple times. OWGR has adjusted their formula and all this multiple times, and it really shouldn't be much of a problem, honestly.
I think Rahm came out at one point and said OWGR is a joke.
He did, but earlier this season.
Yeah.
I think it was because when they changed it. When we last went over it, he was playing a lot of DP World Tour events in the fall. And the change they made gave less points to those, basically. Yeah, and that's what's kind of impacting his ranking.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a joke if you look at that perspective.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
it was a good tournament. It was cool to see those changes, kind of in rankings, how much that can kind of impact what we've seen just with the Live Tour, this emergence in the last year. Let's go ahead. Just go ahead and go into the review here. So obviously Jon Rahm wins his second major in pretty comfortable fashion, 4 strokes, and kind of after Brooks had that errant drive. Was it on the first hole of the last round? Was it? I think it was that drive that pulled way left. It was on the first hole, I think, of the 4th round.
Yeah.
Basically, at that moment, he didn't get his first birdie until like hole 13 of that round, I think.
Took him a minute.
Took Rahm I think 3 or 4 or 5 holes to get the lead.
Caught up pretty quick.
And then after that point, it was kind of no looking back. And Brooks falters kind of on Sunday.
I think he shot 4 over on Sunday.
I think it was 3.
Round 4. I think he shot 3 or 4.
3 over on Sunday, or his 4th round. Yeah. And I don't think it was because he's used to playing 54 holes. I think people are going to make that joke.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't that.
There are so many jokes about.
I think he just played poorly. I think that's all it was. And I think also just the marathon. Like obviously Rahm had the same conditions, obviously, but I think the marathon might have just got to him as far as weather. Like a lot of players.
We've seen it in the Full Swing documentary. Like Brooks lacks a mental strength.
I don't even know if that was it. I think he might have just played poorly.
Played poorly, or just he knew he was in contention and just kind of lost focus, lost the positivity in his game, had a bad shot, and kind of things snowballed. It could be multiple different things. Like we saw it clearly. Him. I think he even came out, and this might have been fake news here, but I thought I saw an article that Brooks said if he was playing how he was playing now, he never would have signed with Liv.
He might not have.
He didn't
say it for sure.
Yeah. So clearly he's struggled with the game. Talk about how he almost punched out the back of a Mercedes window
when he
multiple
missed
times.
the cut last year.
Yeah. So he clearly's got something going on in his mental aspect of his game. But regardless of the point, Rahm had a fantastic comeback. It was very, very entertaining to watch. A lot of even Hovland making that comeback on round 3. He birdied
5 in a row.
5 in a row. So that was great to see. But even he fell back in round 4 too as well. So regardless, super great to watch.
Yeah, it was good. Again, some of the storylines we already touched on. Phil and Brooks tied second. Patrick Reed was tied 4th, so 3 of the top 6, like we said, were from LIV. 12 of the 18 LIV golfers made the cut. I believe that was the stat I saw. 12 of 18.
Yeah,
I kind of
right.
I typed it up off memory, but I could have been wrong.
Kevin Na withdrew.
Kevin Na.
Bryson didn't make the cut. I saw.
Bryson was a pretty easy one. I saw something though. I didn't write this down, but I remember seeing this somewhere. Ever since
he made the comment about par
67, he's like however many strokes over par,
like way over.
And then if you counted 67 par. From when he said that was like 2020, I think it might have been.
Yeah.
He's like 119 over par if you counted 67 as par at the Masters. So that's not a good look from Brooksy there. But
no.
But another thing here, Rory continued to struggle, missing the cut, did not play well at all. Tiger made the cut but withdrew. We already mentioned that
he
it was
barely made the cut too. JT didn't miss the bogey.
JT, I think, might have just given him a little pat on the back.
He
went for the weather. I think the weather really messed with JT because that's right whenever the weather got really bad.
It was, but he had some putts that he missed that he shouldn't have missed too either. But regardless of the point, Tiger was very lucky to get in.
And he withdrew right away. I mean, he had just too much physical demands on him at this point. And I think we might have seen one of the last tournaments Tiger's ever going to play.
Really? You think so?
He mentioned that he doesn't. I was in a podcast, so I didn't hear it directly from his mouth, but they were mentioning how he said
didn't call you.
He didn't text me or anything. he was saying that he doesn't want to just play because he can. He wants to play if he can compete. And I think if he can't even finish at the Masters, he wants to, even though he wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
He wants to finish, and so if he can't do that, I just don't think he's going to play. He doesn't want to He doesn't want to be like, like Sandy Lyle, one of these guys out here that just does it just to do it.
Yeah.
He wants to do it if he can win. He doesn't want to have his image tarnished by at the end of his the twilight of his career, people seeing him missing cuts consistently. He doesn't want to be associated with that. I think, and I can understand that.
I get it, but I feel like. Only one? What's his name? That was the oldest person to make the cut this year.
Well, Fred Couples.
Was it Couples? Was playing the yellow ball?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many times did he play the Masters in the past?
I think
10 years.
He didn't play it the year prior. I think he played it 2020, maybe.
And how many times did he actually made the cut? And actually even been in contention? Probably not much. I think those guys that are previous winners play the Masters just out of tradition.
Right.
Realistically, no one's expecting Fred Couples to win. Right. Or any of the previous winners from however long ago. It's just it's a tradition thing for them. I would be disappointed to see Tiger not play just because he wants to preserve his image. People like to see him play. It's still I understand. I see it so many different ways. I understand you want to leave at the height of your career. I mean, right now it's at the height of his career, obviously, but he wants to leave before people keep seeing him missing cuts and playing poorly and potentially saying that Tiger's done. But it's still Tiger Woods. It's still cool to see him.
Yeah, I think you can also say that he's leaving the game in good hands. I mean, obviously the ratings were fantastic this year, even though he wasn't there on Sunday. Still, again, was great ratings. So I think he might. He said he's not going to play PGA. I think he said he was eyeing the U.S. Open. I think is what I saw. So he already said that, last year, his last St. Andrews was the Open, and I don't think that's going to be the Open location again for probably 5 or 6 years. So that's definitely the last time he played that course at least.
Yeah.
So I think it might have been one of his last 4 or 5 tournaments.
I'd be kind of I would love to see Tiger join the Champions Tour.
Nah, he definitely wouldn't do that.
I would love to see that.
He definitely wouldn't do that.
Why not?
Why would
he has to wait a few more years until he's over 50, but why not? Just to keep playing and stay in contention.
I just think his body's been through so much. I mean, I think he's gonna play, but he's gonna play when he wants to. I don't think he needs to, and
he definitely doesn't need to.
I wouldn't.
It's just I don't know. It's.
I mean, I guess you have the competitive aspect that you're always gonna have, but
Yeah, I thought you have the competitiveness and if you look at it from a branding standpoint, it keeps him relevant still.
I mean, he's always gonna be relevant
for sure, no doubt. I mean, he's like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan doesn't play at all anymore, but he's still involved, I guess. But I guess there's a lot coming down the pipeline with him and Rory with their virtual league or whatever.
Well, another thing I was gonna mention with Rory is he's playing poorly right now. He's still 7th or 8th in FedEx points, but that was from the early season kind of. But last couple months, he's not played well, and it's well, does he kind of need to he's been this voice for the PGA lately? It's he's rallying the troop against Liv, basically. A little less so lately, but when it first was happening, he was.
Yeah,
we saw him full swing, but I think does he need to kind of step away from that role so he can kind of focus on his game more?
He's getting more wrapped up in
and then I think that's a perfect role for Tiger to have, is kind of just have that role, is just kind of do that, be the little like NBA, NFL have the Players Association, and they have like the heads of the Players Association. That's what Tiger needs to be for like golf, really. Yeah. Just kind of take a step back and just kind of be that person for the. He needs
to take over the
players.
Commissioner job.
Yeah,
maybe. I can see it so many different ways. I guess I just speak more of like, I would just love to see. I've never seen Tiger play. I would just love to see him play. Just to say, I mean, it's just cool experience. Like, I'm not a person where I'm like, I probably would take a video, posting it for content for Cactus, but like, I love to just like be in the moment and just be like that, just experience that, I don't know. But anyways, I did want to bring up, we're gonna go stay on the Masters topic, but away from Tiger Woods here and Rory. Sam Bennett.
Yeah, Sam Bennett. Yep. T16.
Great. I mean, and everyone. So I have a question. I hear people say amateur and amateur. Is there a difference?
Well, I think
people
it's
just
like
say it differently.
I think it's like what is it?
And this might be a stupid question. I really don't know. Like, I heard all the broadcasts, all they kept saying was amateur. I think
it's just like a local thing.
Anytime I say see this word, I'm like amateur.
I think it's just like a dialect thing.
Yeah, maybe it is. I have no idea. But anyways, so it was really cool to see him pull through and to get a lot of that FaceTime recognition on the Masters. And obviously he went back to school, did not play
he opted out.
36 holes on Monday. I saw that he still went and got a bunch of people were like congratulating him, which is cool. He had a nice welcoming back thing at the airport when he got back home. So no money for him, obviously. But
like I told you, I think he's going to get some NIL money from college. That
probably.
way he has so much FaceTime, and I think he'll get some NIL money.
What was his hat? Do you remember the brand on his hat?
I remember what it looked like, but I didn't see what it was.
I remember the brand.
And then he said he went to Dick's midway through to get some more money, to get some more clothing.
More money. He clocked in.
He went to Dick's to go get some clothes for the weather. That was funny. He doesn't have sponsors; just ship him off thousands of dollars worth of clothes.
You need it, you got it.
That's funny. Then also, last thing was Will Zalatoris withdrew. He had season-ending back surgery. Yeah, so.
Done.
Number 8 in the world, I believe. He's not going to be 7 or 8 in the world. He's not going to be around for a while.
Yeah, that sucks. I can't imagine that recovery. And I saw his whole statement that, which by the way, he has a pretty cool logo. Did you see his logo? Mm-hmm. It's like WZ, but it's all intertwined, and it's actually pretty cool. A lot of the accounts talk about if Will Zalatoris put that on a hat, I would totally buy it. It actually was pretty nice. But I saw it was some micro procedure, very small incisions and all that, but I can't imagine recovering. You're having to use your back and so much in the golf game. So much.
And I remember people talking about how Sam Bennett has a really kind of demanding golf swing.
Yes.
So they're worried that he might have that similar issue that Zalatoris has.
He gets down. It's kind of wild. I saw some of the pictures.
So it'll be interesting to see how much longevity he might have.
Yeah, there's another guy that I watch when I watch YouTube, the Good channel. They have this. They sponsor this one amateur, and he has the same swing, just crazy arc, and it's almost like his back goes parallel to the freaking ground. That's how that low it is. Which I don't know how you don't chunk your ball. Getting that low, I would be hitting 4 feet behind the golf ball. It would be ridiculous. But we'll see. He's young, so he's healthy now. But as his body goes on, and
I think I saw that was his second major he's participated in. I think it was either U.S. Open or PGA he was a part of last year. So second major. So I don't believe he made the cut last time. But it was good for him.
I think he'll be in the U.S. Open this year. I thought I saw.
I'm not sure. I didn't see that.
I think he got admission into the U.S. Open. Okay. So it'd be cool to see him again. See if he can go back-to-back majors and put some noise out there.
And forfeit over some money again.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So we're not going to talk about Jon Rahm here for Two Truths and a Lie. I got nothing for you, man. You know his social security number at this point. I figured we would do a Masters True Truths and a Lie. So Masters in Augusta, okay? So the actual country club, whatever you want to say, and then the Masters tournament. Two Truths and a Lie here. So Find the lie. Magnolia Lane is filled with 61 magnolia trees. In the Masters, if you miss the cut, you still receive $10,000. Augusta will never have more than 100 members. What's the lie?
I feel like I saw something about the $10,000 thing earlier at some point, so I think that's true. The 100-member thing, I'm pretty sure is true. I want to say 61 trees is the lie.
Why would you say that?
What?
61 trees.
Because I think the other two are true.
No, so you're wrong, actually.
Okay.
You are. I thought the 61, like an odd number, because like it's lined up all the way down. I thought that would throw you off, but it's actually true. There's 61 trees. Okay. 61 magnolia trees.
I thought that sounded good when you first said that first, but then I was like, oh, I think the other two are true, though. So
yeah. So the lie is they'll never have more than 100 members. It's actually 300 members.
Okay.
So a little bit bigger. So this one was a little bit more tricky. I really thought that you were going to go with the magnolia trees. Like, in my head, when I first read it, I'm like, 61 trees, you're odd on one side. Like, that's weird. Like, why would it be like that?
That's what I thought at first.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I think the other two are true, so I think I'm going to go with that one. So that's what I did. So,
well,
back to even, I think.
You're
back
even.
to 500.
Back to 500.
You're not streaking anymore.
No, you're not. But that's Hall of Fame, man.
Hey,
if you're batting 500,
500,
you're number one in Hall of Fame. I mean, that's crazy. All right, well, we got designated event next.
Yeah, RBC Heritage, defending champion Jordan Spieth, Harbortown Golf Links in Hilton Head, South Carolina. It's a par 71, 7,213 yards, a little shorter, a few hundred yards shorter than the Masters last week. Doesn't really favor the big hitters this week, so it's going to be more about precision off the tee than length.
$20 million purse. Fields, obviously the best of the best. No Rory, though, withdrew this week. Did you see Jon Rahm's comment about that, by the way?
I saw
not really talking about, like...
I saw something about, like, you want to be there for the fans and whatnot. Yeah. I didn't see it as a dig at Rory, though.
He was kind of like... I guess they kind of were like, you know, why wouldn't you take this week off, you know, after winning the Masters? And he essentially made the comment that this, like, he wanted to be there for the fans and never would want to... He said that he made a commitment to play all designated events. So I felt like that's kind of, and maybe he didn't mean it, but like, as someone who just listens to it, I'm like, is that a jab? Is that a little?
I didn't see it as a jab.
Rory? I don't know. So he made a commitment. Rory's the face of the PGA. Because Rory never listed the reason why he withdrew.
Yeah, I didn't see one.
He never like said he was, you know, hurt or sick or whatever the case is. So he's
maybe there's an Irish holiday. I don't know.
Maybe there is. Previous winners, you know, consistently pretty much within the last almost 10 years here. You've got anywhere from 9 under to 22 under, but the majority of the bulk are like your 15 to 20 is like your good range here. Yep. So what are you thinking this week? 17?
It was it 13 last year? I think it was 20 the year prior.
19 the year
19 prior. And then 20, I think
22
it was.
22 Webb Simpson.
22, yeah. Okay. So I think I'd say 16. Sure, get back up there.
All right, you're going to say 16 and under. I'm going to say 17 and over.
Okay.
Perfect. We got Scotty Scheffler listed as a favorite. When I pulled this, the odds were at plus 800. I don't know if it's changed since I pulled this last. But my prediction is not Scotty this week.
Neither, no.
I'm going Jon Rahm. I'm going back-to-back victories for him.
I don't know. I mean, he's balling out on all designated
obviously
events,
playing very well. Very, very well. So if you were living under a rock in the past year, Jon Rahm has played 10 events so far this season. He has 7 top 10s and 4 wins. Number 1 in the OWGR. He has played this course one other time and shot 12 under. This is back in like 2019, I think is what it was. So I think he's got it. He's got it in him this week. Continue the streak. Keep it hot.
I got Morikawa winning this week. I think he played decent at the Masters. Did respectable. I think he was a top like 15. And
sounds right.
I think his game fits this course pretty well. It's smaller greens, one of the smaller greens on the tour for total square footage, and I think his precision ball striking will get it done. Speaking
of like smaller greens, and I told you this, and I was listening to some of the broadcasters talking about the Masters, and it was like one of the shots is like trying. He said it described it as trying to hit your nightstand like 130 yards out. I'm like, that's ridiculous. So if the greens are traditionally smaller here, my God.
Well, that was just like the landing area
Yeah.
for what he was talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That was just the landing area. On
There's
the
like
green.
a lot of the. I mean, I can saw it all week. Like a lot of the greens are multi-tiered.
Oh
greens.
yeah, the undulation on all the
Balls
greens.
rolling
they were
off
crazy.
the greens was
Yeah.
wild. Very, very wild. Like you saw anything that landed short on one of the par
So many false
threes.
fronts.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, just
so many false
came right
fronts.
back
yeah,
down.
even I think it was number 7 where it was lined with all the bunkers around it, and yeah, we saw one ball land like in the middle of the green, rolled. I think it was Finau. I forget what round it was, but landed and ended up rolling down like 10 yards into the fairway.
That's
It was landed in the
ridiculous.
middle of the green. Yeah.
That's wild. All right, you want to go betting corner? Or anything else to talk about RBC?
Nothing really. Yeah, we already mentioned Rahm. I'm playing Rory opting out. Obviously, a stronger field. I think it was 41 of the top 50. That's really all the notes I had going into it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it.
I was kind of surprised to see another designated event right after the Masters.
Well, yeah, we kind of talked about that. How like I don't think Liv would have had a tournament after the Masters, but I think maybe this was done to like prevent Liv from like feeding off of the hype of the Masters or something like that, going straight into another tournament.
There definitely is like a hype after the Masters of golf. I mean, we see it in like people signing up for the membership. Like
Yeah.
we have definitely seen a spike since the Masters. Like,
Right.
obviously in the actual core of the Masters, and then since the week going on.
Right. So I don't know if they did that, scheduled that right after to prevent them from playing. Could have been.
Could be.
So
Doesn't
yeah,
also help that the weather's been pretty nice, like countrywide right now.
Sure.
So 80 degrees back in Indiana this week. It's pretty crazy.
So
crazy.
yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Jon Rahm's playing obviously, and yeah, I don't know. I think it could have been a factor, but who knows?
Who knows?
But yeah, let's go ahead and get into betting corner.
All right, so betting corner last week, we both hit. You were plus 58 units. You had that nice Jon Rahm.
That's the second outright I think I've picked. I think Finau really early in the year I had.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you were plus 58, and then I had 2 bets hit. I had the double and with Scotty and Rahm, and then I had Victor Hovland top 10. I was plus 100. So the current standings are I'm minus 285. You're minus 693.
Man, I had a couple that were really close too. I had Morikawa, I think it was like T15. I had him top 5. Eam, I think finished around there as well. I had him top 5, and I had who did I have top 10? Tom Kim. Tom Kim was like 15 or so. Yeah, I had him top 10. So a couple close ones there. My parlay was close, but Buns couldn't get it done for me.
Buns could not.
Buns just
What
missed
did
the
it
cut.
have hit if he got whatever? You had him T30.
I didn't check, but I know. I mean, Cantlay, Schauffele, Morikawa were the other 3.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly, but I think those 3 are probably they were top.
Morikawa was T10. Or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, T10.
Okay.
And so was Schauffele.
Yeah,
T10.
and then Cantlay, I'm pretty sure was top 30 because that's what the parlay was, top 30.
Cantlay was T14.
Yeah, so dang Buns.
Oh, Buns.
He got burnt. Burnt the Buns. But it was close. So I think the process was right. Just got unlucky.
Well, speaking of burnt, I'll go with my first pick. Sam Burns.
Clever.
I feel it was a great transition there. I got him top 10. Odds are plus 360. 23 units on Mr. Burns this week. Again, if you have lived under a rock, he's played 12 events so far this year. He's got 4 top 10s and 1 win. He's played this course in particular 3 different times. He's got 1 top 10. So
Yeah, not a course that a lot of top players have played because it's always played after the Masters, so not a lot of these players have played it a lot. A few of them have, but not a lot of them have played it a ton. Like Scotty, I don't think he's only played it once. A lot of the players only played it like once in the last few years because
Yeah.
they played it 2020, the COVID-shortened year. It was like the second tournament of the year, so like a lot of people played it that year. But other than that, they haven't played it a lot. But my first pick here. I'm going back to the parlay. Actually, I've been staying away from it. But I'm going to go back to it again. This one again, going back to FanDuel actually, FanDuel. Mm-hmm. So Brian Harmon top 30. They had the top 30 on there again. Mm-hmm. So Brian Harmon top 30. Sungjae Im top 20. He did well last week. That's plus 684. 25 units on that one.
Wow, that's pretty big.
Going a little big.
Yeah. All right, my next one, I've got the man who was in contention at one point last week, Mr. Victor Hovland again. I'm going him instead of top 10, I'm going top 5 this week. I'm moving him up a little bit. Odds are plus 500, 18 units. And I think he's due. He hasn't had a win yet this season. I almost went with him winning this week. he's getting closer every season. He's always in contention. His name is always, he's very consistent on where he lies. So I think he wants that revenge. He almost tasted a victory last week at the Masters, somewhat in contention, had that nice 5-hole rally of all birdies. I think this is the week he comes really, really close. If not wins.
Yeah, I like Hovland's game. He's always hanging around there. My next one here, I'm going actually a former winner, Webb Simpson. Top 10 plus 715 units. I think he's had some success here and knows the course well. He's one of the players that has played this a few more times than the others, so I think he's got it in him.
Name another tournament he won where we were there.
Where we were there?
Yes. Webb Simpson.
I mean, it had to have been.
It was Waste Management. It was the first one that we went to. It was 2019.
Yeah, but no, 2020 because it was a month before COVID hit.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, because COVID year would have been the 2021 season.
Yeah, it was February 2020. Because I remember, I was thinking, I'm like, man, if Waste Management was a month later, I would have been stuck out there because flights all got.
Have we went 3 years in a row?
4.
Is it 4?
Right? 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023.
Oh yeah, it is 4 years now. Okay. Well, off camera, we have to talk. Who are the past winners? I forgot. I remember Webb Simpson. I remember Brooks.
Scotty twice. Webb Simpson.
Twice,
yeah.
And Brooks won it 1 year. Okay. There's our answer. I have no transition here. I got Cameron Young as my next pick.
You had a transition in the bag though, because Webb Simpson's former caddy, Scott Tesori, his last name's Tesori, is now Cameron Young's caddy. So you had it.
I didn't connect the dots.
You gotta connect it.
So Cameron Young,
Paul Tesori,
something like that. Top 5 odds plus 500, 18 units. Cameron Young obviously has been playing pretty well. He is. I struggle picking him because I feel like every time I watch him play, he struggles. He misses a putt, he gets so aggravated. Like, what's the one dude you were picking?
Tyrrell Hatton.
Yes, he gets like another level. I feel like, but Cameron Young, he changed got a new caddy. They changed his putting style. You see him, I forget the style of putting that they call it, but like he'll hold the club in the air.
The aim and point.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
A lot of the golfers do that. Like a ton of them.
Yeah. Well, he changed. He's now doing it, so it's new for him at least. And I've seen him miss a lot of putts lately. So maybe another week he's gonna figure out this whole aim and putt system for him. Top 5. He's played this event one other time before. And he has a top 10 finish. So I think he's going to inch a little closer.
He got off to a really hot start Thursday. He was leading there for the first 9 holes. He's 4 under through the first 5 or 6 holes. And I think I saw some people that had some bets on him in a group chat I'm in that were kind of taking some victory laps a little too early. They were like, yeah, let's go. We got Cam Young, ticket to win. I'm like, hey, chill out. That's the first 4 holes of 72 holes.
Yeah, he ended up T7 last
he
week,
just really couldn't get over the hump there. He was flirting around with that T7 or that 7 or 8 under number for a while.
My uncle texted me, and obviously he listens to this all the time and always loves the podcast. So this is fan mail for him. No, I'm just kidding. So he texted me and said that he thought Cam Young was going to win the Masters last week. I texted back and I was like, I don't see Cam Young winning this year. I don't think even a major next year. I think the year after is when he pops it off. And then I saw him doing well the first day, and I'm like, I'm about to eat my words. I'm about to eat my freaking words.
I think he can get one. He contended in the PGA last year. He was top 5 in the PGA last year.
And T7 the Masters is great.
Right. I think he's got the game for a major. I don't know if it'll happen, obviously, but
of course, he's definitely got the game. I just for some reason, it's a feeling thing, right? I can't give you no statistical reason why I think this. It's a feeling thing that watching him play, I don't think he's got it. Not this year. Not next year.
Well, another thing I mentioned is, or I was thinking. During the Masters, they're talking about Cantlay and Finau, how none of these top players that we've known, Schauffele, don't have majors. These top 10 unanimously, annually top 10 in the world, OWGR, don't have any majors yet. I just think that goes
Schauffele doesn't?
He has a gold medal in the
Olympics,
but he doesn't have a major. And so like these top players like are synonymous with some of the best players in the world. We see them win tournaments, but we don't have them
see
to
who they're
majors
going
yet.
up against.
But
Scotty
again,
Scheffler,
there's
Rahm.
so many good players nowadays that I think it's just harder.
Yeah.
It's just so there's only 4 majors a year,
Yeah.
and there's more and more top players every year now. So I think it's just more difficult. I don't think it's just not. I mean, normally you would go back in the history books and you can see some kind of not random names, but just not like these names that are kind of synonymous with the game.
Correct.
Winning as many majors. So I think it's just harder.
And
as you see, like Morikawa, he has 2 majors already. He has a U.S. Open and a PGA, and he's younger.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just kind of just not luck, but it's just kind of like it's really hard.
It is.
And it's just kind of just, again, I don't want to call it luck, but it's just, you got to get things timed right. When your game matches the timing of the calendar when you're playing the majors. So.
Yeah. I mean, you can be a great golfer, but you can be Rory McIlroy, great golfer. Struggling
if there was a major in November, he might have won.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. He's struggling right now. And it sucks that this is the time of the year that he's struggling. Figure it out.
Right, and kind of like Scotty last year, this the exact same time he was on a run this time last year, and he capitalized on it.
And then he burned.
And then Rahm on the same exact run on the same exact timeline of last year kind of capitalized on it. So it's just kind of matter when your game matches the timing of the calendar. I think sometimes
for sure.
But that was your third pick, right?
I said Cam Young. Yes.
So my third pick, I'm going Shane Lowry. He's played this event more often. He's played it 4 years in a row at least. So he has, what is it here? He's finished in the top 10 3 times, including third twice. So he knows this course well. He's obviously a fantastic player. He held his own at the Masters last week, so I think he's got the game right now to be able to pull it off. I got him at top 5.
Where did he finish last week? He was in contention at one point. He was somewhere.
He was hanging around, kind of chilling out in the top 15
T16
or so. 16.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Very respectable.
Yeah, I got him top 5 plus 650, 15 units. So I think he can get it done. He knows his course well and has performed well here before.
My next pick is someone who created a lot of excitement last week. He had a great chip in from the crowd. Did you see that?
I don't know if I did.
Sahith Theegala. So he had his approach shot.
I think that was Sunday. I missed that.
Yeah, his approach shot ended up.
He balled out on Sunday. It was like 6 under.
He played really well. His approach shot missed the green left, I want to say, is what it was. Fans were surrounding him, so just a little gap open for him to chip out. He chips out, bounces, rolls, comes back, right, and falls in the cup. And he went crazy. He's high-fiving all the fans and everything. Like, everyone was cool to see. So I'm going to say he's going to feed off of this, that momentum, that good energy that he's got going right now. I got him top 10. Sahith Theegala, top 10. Odds plus 500, 17 units. He's played a lot this year. 15 events so far this year. 6 top 10s, 1 runner-up. He's played this course once before. He made the cut. Nothing really crazy special. Not talking anything statistically based on the course. I think he's just got some momentum rolling in this direction right now. Okay. We'll see.
So my next one here, I got Justin Thomas. Like we said, I had missed the cut last week. But again, I don't think he played super poorly. Because I was thinking, I'm like, okay, like maybe some of the guys that missed the cut maybe are favored this week because they had a little more time to rest, whatnot. Less mental grind for the Masters. But then I'm like, well, people that missed the cut are playing worse, though, right? Because they missed the cut. Yeah. But he actually wasn't playing terribly. It's just I think he bogeyed 4 of the last 5 holes to miss the cut. So he wasn't like playing just completely terribly. It was just kind of the last 4 holes in that bad weather that really kind of spurred like the missed cut there. So I think he's still playing well enough, and he's obviously got the game to be able to contend here. So I got Justin Thomas top 5 plus 550, 20 units on that one.
Yep. I like it. All right, my last one. I'm going the double chance again. Same double chance I did last week. Rahm Scheffler. Odds are plus 350, 24 units. Just want to get back even. I think 2 very big names. Scotty made a push last week on Sunday to kind of. So he eventually ended up in T2 contention, then kind of fell back a few more strokes. But either Rahm's going to continue this massive push that he's got going on and feeding off his energy, or Scotty's going to try and seek some revenge and win this week. We'll see. He's also feeling good off of that skillet cookie that he ate last week.
I saw Rahm, I forget how many starts he has on the tour, or at least like the last 20. I events it was. I think it was. Yeah, I think the stat was the last 20 events. He's like won more than he's missed the cut. So like he's like statistically more likely to win than he has missed cut. Last like however many starts. That was kind of
bizarre. That's wild, man.
But my last pick here, I have Morikawa to win, but I'm actually going away from the outright this week. I'm trying to keep that green rolling in. So we're going top. What did I do here? Top 5. I didn't type 5, but it's top 5. But Colin Morikawa top 5 plus 425 units. He was T10, I believe you said earlier at Masters. He's contended here before. He was 7th place in 2021, 26th last year, which is ho hum. But he's got the game to be able to contend here. He's
ho hum,
26th place. But he's got he's number 1 or 2, I think, in driving accuracy. So again, the distance is going to be as much of a factor this week. It's going to be about more accurate off the tee, and then the smaller greens are going to be important to have a good approach game. Like we've said multiple times, he's got one of the best ball striking games on, or ball striking abilities on tour. So I think he's got a good chance.
We'll see. I don't think we had anything line up here this week.
Yeah, bets. No, we kind of had similar. I tried my Brian Harmon pick. I was looking at going. I forget who I had in there originally, but I was like, I kind of want to get a different name in there, so I went with Brian Harmon. So that was kind of the reason for that. I kind of feel like I pick a lot of the same guys, so I tried to go. Webb Simpson was a new one here, so I tried to mix it up a little bit more. But
I feel like I think it's the first time I ever bet on Cam Young, maybe, and Sam Burns. I don't think I bet on Burns yet.
Yeah,
I know. I think you.
I wanted to get.
Haven't you had bet on Burns?
I think I did once. Yeah, and then I wanted to get Fitzpatrick in, but I didn't because again I wanted to see it before I bet him again, and he played well.
He did play well.
So because I said that, I was like, you know what? I said it, so I need to do it. So I was looking for him to try and fit him in. I couldn't fit him in, but I do think he is kind of on the way back. They said that he was maybe battling some injuries. I think it's easy cop out sometimes, but I can't.
Did you see his girlfriend?
No,
should not be his girlfriend.
Oh
no.
Oh,
she is totally in for the money.
Taking shots, jeez.
Totally in for the money. I'll just throw it out there.
Wait,
it's the Skechers shoes. No, she's like
good looking.
Very.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
I thought you meant bad at first.
No. And I just saw a picture of the two together. I think last week at the Masters, and it was just very, very
Well, I don't know. Maybe once he gets rid of the braces, maybe he'll be looking good. He still has the braces forever. I feel like.
Does he still have them?
Does he still have them?
I thought he got rid of them. I thought they were off now. I don't know.
He hasn't been in contention, so I haven't seen him in a while. So I don't know.
I thought.
I feel like he's had them forever.
Probably the weirdest site I think I've just ever typed, but Matt Fitzpatrick braces is what I just Googled.
I'm sure there's something about it.
He has invisible ones now, I guess.
Oh, the Invisalign things, probably.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's his sponsor. It's one of his sponsors.
Skechers makes braces now?
No, it's just not. There's an article that said, "What happened with Matt Fitzpatrick's teeth?" ? That's interesting. I thought he got him off, but maybe
he did, because he had him for a while. I feel like
he did have him for a very long time. He obviously wasn't wearing his retainer and following his doctor's or orthodontist instructions.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, but anyways, look up that picture.
But yeah, I think he's playing better now. I tried to look for a spot for him, couldn't find it, but I do think he'll at least make the cut this week, which was something that was a tall order for him in the past couple months. But I think he'll at least do that, and he might be on the right track going forward.
Yeah, maybe.
But, yeah, that's all I got this week. Got anything else?
No, that's all I got. I did find the picture of his girlfriend, so I figured I'd share that.
Nice. Is he English too, or what?
I don't know.
She doesn't look English, but I don't know. I guess that doesn't mean much.
I don't know, but it just doesn't fit. Maybe that's just wrong on me to say that. Just doesn't.
Maybe they met at Northwestern. You went to Northwestern. I know that. So, but yeah, that's all I got this week. We got good designated event this week, and then in about a month, 6 weeks, we got the PGA Championship. So exciting times.
So we're getting to the heart of the season, man.
It is the heart.
It's coming. It's here.
It's beaten.
It is beaten. It is beaten. All right, but before we go, make sure everyone likes, comments, subscribes, leaves a review, shares
Wheaties.
The podcast, eat your Wheaties, whatever you got to do. Just spread the message about the podcast. We appreciate you guys. And if you haven't checked out Cactus Golf Club and you golf and you buy golf stuff, you're missing out. That's a little
First month's free.
First month's free, not an ad. We'll see you guys.